Hello guys, so let's carry on paper 3 for the website authoring for October-November 2019 for information communication technology. So let's go to the related questions. After we're supposed to be done with Excel, we're supposed to start with website authoring. Before you start with the website authoring, there will be a question here, task 3, which is unusual to be done in past papers, to be happen in ICT papers. But this is starting first to do this evidence document, and then task 4 will be for the web page. So let's do first task 3. A table within a web page is designed to look like this. So it's supposed to like a page, supposed to look like this. You will notice that we have 1, 2, 3 rows and 3 columns over here. So the question says, examine the files Q16 and HDD1 which were created by trainee in their attempt to produce this web page. This is a copy of the HTML for the table. So this is a copy seems from this page, or let's see. So this is the HTML code, and then analyze this HTML and suggest amendments. So since there are mistakes over here in this HTML code, so we have to find those mistakes and fix them. We have to identify each of these amendments and should be placed, and we shouldn't include the CSS file. So first let's go over here to Q16 and HDD1 and let's look for them. So that's Q16, which is a web page, which supposed actually to look like this one, but seems because there are problems in it that we need to fix it, and that's why it is looking for currently like this. Okay, and the next file, which is HDD1, supposed to be a JPEG image. So it is that hard disk image that should be placed inside the HTML to be visible over here. So what we have to do, first of all, let's open the Dreamweaver. I am using 2018 CC Dreamweaver, and let's open this file Q16 in it. Okay, we can see the code over here. This code will be exactly the same like this code over here. So this is a copy of the table. So only from table to table we can find it over here for that page. So inside the body you have from table to table over here. By looking only at the code, you can identify some of the mistake, but if it is giving you trouble, you can put it in any editor and you can find out what can be the mistakes. Okay, so our question says analyze this HTML. First we have to understand this HTML code, and we have to suggest what are the amendments for it, what are the problems and the amendments for it, and we have to find out. We can see here over here there are 4 points, and after that this needs to be placed in the evidence document, which is evidence number 2. Let's open the evidence file. And okay, evidence number 2 is supposed to be written here. So let's go and check. Okay, let me copy the code from here or from PDF file anywhere, and let's paste it over here, and let's check what can be the problems. Let me highlight it so we can know this is our code. Okay, first of all, you will notice that column span, from the name itself, column span, it span the column, so it does not it shouldn't be included in the row. So column span always supposed to be included in the column section. That's the first problem. So that's the first error over here. Second error, we can see that there is a header here, but there is no opening for it. Okay, so let's highlight over here, and then let's highlight another one is over here, and then this is the opening for the row, this is the closing, there is another row opening, there is another second row closing, and this seems fine. Then there is a third row. We said there must be 3 rows, 1 2 3. Okay, and in the third row again the column span is mentioned in the row, which is supposed not to be mentioned here, it's supposed to be over here in the column. And then image, they're mentioning MP4, which actually that's why it is showing an error here, because we don't have any MP4 file. The file that we have is HDD1 JPEG. So that's the second problem we're having. At the third, fourth problem over here. So let's highlight here. And another issue that seems we're having, you might find it difficult from here to find out, but if you notice over here, you will find there is a double quotation missing over here. Okay, so as you can see over here, and this is a closing for it. So let's highlight over here and let's write down what are the problems. So we can see that the first one, that we had a problem over here, so let's remove wherever we don't have any issue. So let's put it back again, and let's mention over here, and let's make this as if it is without any highlighting. Okay, okay, great. You can change the font so you can differentiate between what is code and what is non-code. I'm going to use over here Times New Roman to differentiate it. Okay, let's put this over here, and I will change this later. So call span equal 3 supposed to be added in TD not TR to expand the columns, expand the 3 columns. Okay, and then let's show how it's supposed to be. So let's copy it and let's put it, and let's say call span equal 3. And then another point before that, as we're going to fix also this one, let's say heading H1 do not have an opening tag. An opening tag supposed to be added in the beginning. Okay, supposed to be double N. Okay, so and the way we correct it, it's supposed to be over here. We copied it and we put this, and we should put also the H1 over here. Okay, so as we corrected these things, we added them. So let's try to change the font a little bit. So because you're going to print the paper, so change it as to be differentiated while it is printed out. Okay, so these are mentioning points about these 2 lines. Then we have also here 2 more lines. We can mention them, and we can mention it as the following over here. And let's copy this part also, and let's put it here as the columns. Here again we're having the same issue. It's supposed to be and here supposed to be, and column span here 3 supposed to be added over here, the same issue as the previous one. Another problem is this. Okay, let's mention it. The image source is a JPG, a .jpeg image, not .mp4 file. So it's supposed to be hdd1 .jpeg. There is a quotation that is missing at the end of hard drive image. Okay, that is missing at the end of, let's say, alt attribute, which is this one. This is called the attribute. So alt attribute and then mention to them, which is this one. And then right now let's put the code. Let's just copy these 2 lines and let's put them over here, and then we can take the format painter and paint over here and correct it. So let's take this to here. Okay, and then another one is this, supposed to be JPEG, and we already have a closing tag. Let's make it equal to this one. Okay, and then we're done. Okay, I think this is for this evidence, and let's make for this one to go to another page. Okay, great. So right now let's go to back our page and let's amend those problems over here. Let's see. Okay, let's go to Dreamweaver back again and let's fix it over here right now. So table, the first thing is the TR column span. We should cut it from here and we should post it in the TD. Okay, another problem was the H1. We're supposed to add an H1 over here. Another problem was another column span over here. We're supposed to add it in TD and change this into a picture and add the last double quotation over here. Okay, right now you can see the image got fixed. So let's save it and let's go back again to our image here, to our website, and let's refresh it. We can see this is the normal size. We can see it is exactly matching right now with our table over here. So let's move to the next question, which is task 4, a web page. A trainee has started to create a style sheet for a super desk sales. The style sheet is not finished and contains a number of errors. You are going to edit the style sheet. Okay, so our work is supposed to be right now with CSS. All colors codes must be in hexadecimal. Okay, so the color is supposed to be right now in hexadecimal. And make sure that your most efficient method, make sure just to use the most efficient method. Heading styles, supposed to be H4, H5, H6. Heading styles H4, H5 and H6 will not be used, so do not need defining. Okay, that should be in our mind. Make sure that your style sheet contains no HTML, so only style sheet supposed to be containing only CSS codes. So open the style sheet And the specification for the style sheets are as following. So we're supposed to open this file, which is 193. Okay, this one. I'm going to open it in Dreamweaver. Okay, so it got open here. So we can see this is not at all the code the way writing CSS. We just have it exactly copied from here. So let's start to set it and see what is it. So ending with bool, starting with table, that's exactly the same here. So what we have to do, correct and complete this style sheet using the information above. Place your name, candidate number, and the comment. Okay, let's first start to correct. So let's do one by one. So to do a table, we usually write table and we open two brackets. Whatever we need to put from attributes, we need to do it here. So first of all, the position of the table, it's supposed to be center aligned within the browser window. So to do this, we need to say margin left to be equal to auto, colon or semicolon, and margin right supposed to be also equal to auto. After that, the next one, it's supposed to be, okay, let me just, if I'm done with this, so size supposed to be 1200 pixel wide. So to put the size, we just can simply put the width and we can say 1200 px. After that, we have the borders. The borders supposed not to be collapsed. And we're done with this one. Okay, I believe reading from the PDF is much clearer here. Okay, I think it's much better to read from here. So let's put it next to each other and let's do it from here. I'm going to remove the rest from here and we better type it as it is clear. Okay, we're done with the position. We're done with the size. We are done. We're still not, we're still going to do the borders. Okay, the borders are supposed to be still in tables. So what we can do, we can still here carry on and put the border type or the border collapse to be, we can choose to be either collapse or inherit or separate. So as long as it is not collapse, it's supposed to be the opposite, separate and colon. Now we're done with the borders also. And then what we have to mention over here, we have to mention that the border right now, the rest of the border stuff. So the rest of the border we have to mention to be visible, means at least, okay, it's supposed to be visible. As long as visible means there's supposed to be a width in it. So it's supposed to be 2 pixels. So this border is supposed to include in both internal and external. And anything with a table to mention to be internal and external, it has to be added in also TD. So whatever, like for example, the border will be mentioned in both in table and in TD. So as they're asking us to use the most efficient method over here, so we can mention it here separately. We can write down here for the border to be mentioned here to be 2 pixels. So let's say we can say here border to be 2 px, and we have to mention it again over here to be 2 px. But what we can do to do this, to avoid it, to use the efficient method, we can add one more for the common things. So TD and table, if they have both common criteria, we can put them over here. So border supposed to be both internal and external, supposed to be 2 pixels. Then we need to make it also to be solid, not dashed or any different style. So to do this, we can also mention it here after that. As you can put space here, you will notice from the IntelliSense it is giving you how you want the border style. So they're mentioning here it's supposed to be solid, so it is for both internal and external. Okay, let's put another space, and they're going to give us the color right now, so we can put the color right now. All this come in the borders. So we start with the thickness of the border, the style of the border, and then finally with the color. The color, it is mentioned here that all the colors supposed to be mentioned in decimal, in hexadecimal. So they're telling us the border color supposed to be 808000. Let's write it down over here, but any hexadecimal color start with hashtag. So 808000, and let's see, it is this color. It is giving us closer to the yellow color. Okay, so we're done. So far all of the borders still here. Right now let's go to the table data for the data only that will be included in TD. Okay, so cell padding supposed to be the top 8 pixel, the left and the right supposed to be 20 pixel, and the bottom 6 pixels. We can mention this separately. Okay, so what we can do over here, let's start to mention in TD. So we have padding to right padding, and we have all 4 directions. Okay, so let's write down the directions, starting with the first direction, which we got at the top. So top supposed to be the padding top, let me check where, okay, 8px, then padding left, it's supposed to be 20px, padding right, it's supposed to be also 20px, and finally padding bottom, it's supposed to be 6px. Okay, so those are all the points that's supposed to be mentioned. And finally they mentioned to us here also that, okay, for the borders, for the internal borders, again they mention it separately here. In case they haven't mentioned it, I'm going just to leave it here, but let's see if it is matching or not. So again, it's supposed to be visible, so visible both, because they are both 2 pixels, so it is matching. In case this is not matching, I'm going to put this back again to table and put here separately another border style or a number. This is supposed to be solid, exactly solid, and exactly the same color. So as you can see, these are matching. That's why we put them all here together. If they are not matching, we have to separate them here and here separately according to their criteria mentioned to us here. So we're done with the borders and cell padding. Let's right now go and do all heading styles. So all heading styles, they mentioned to us here 1 point. Heading style H4, H5 and H6 does not need to be defining. So we're not supposed to define any of them, even if they're included, but they're even not included here. So all heading styles, that means H1, H2, H3, except all of this except H4 and 5 and 6. So let's do it and let's find out. So we have here color, all of them supposed to have blue to be zeros, so R, R, G, B, sorry. Okay, so R as R, G, B, it comes in this order. So how we can do it? So let's say as it is all of it, so we have to do it, I shouldn't keep any space here, later we'll remove the spaces. Okay, so H1, H2 and H3. Okay, open the bracket and let's start to put all the things that are related here. So the color, let's put the colors over here, color, and let's mention starting. So the colorway system in hexadecimal, you have to put it like this: hashtag starting with 2 numbers for R, 2 numbers for G, and 2 numbers for B. So let's replace the 2 numbers of R, which is supposed to be FF. Then for G, it's supposed to be also FF, and for B, it's supposed to be 00. So we got the yellow color as they are the combination of green and red. Okay, then we're done with this. Then for the font, all of those heading styles supposed to have Times New Roman, but if not available, then Times. If these are not available, then use the browser's serif font. So to do this, let's put a comma over here, and let's say what we need to do, which is font called font family. So the first font family that we wanted, it is Times. Make sure of the spelling, capital small letters, and okay, Times New Roman. Don't go for those helpers. And one thing to be mentioned here, that whenever you're writing the fonts and you have spaces between the fonts, it is more than one word, then at this time you have to put a quotation. Okay, then put a comma. Another one is going to be Times. So Times is just one word, I don't need to put a quotation for it. Times, comma, and then if none of this is available, if it is available, if you're having this in your computer, they're going to apply to H1, H2, H3 Times New Roman. If they cannot find it, they're going to apply Times. If they cannot find any of these two, they're going to apply which font? Serif, any decorated font. Okay, and close it. After that, we're going to go to the next one, and okay, the next one for H1, H2, and H3, they're separately mentioned, but if there are some common points between them, we should put them over here together. Or if they're like, for example, something in common between H1 and H2, we can put them also together. But so far there is nothing in common, so let's put H1. H1 supposed to be font size 48, and there is a point here, sorry, font size supposed to be 48. There is a big mistake that a lot of people make it, which is writing pixel. Fonts cannot be measured in pixel unless if they really mention to you here pixel. So at that time, make sure that you're going to write down here pixel. Otherwise, it is point high, so PT is the shortcut. The next point is going to be in H1, alignment to be right. So simply it is just text alignment, and it's supposed to be to the right side. Okay, these are the 2 points, and then for H2, and the third one is supposed to be H3. So for H2, we just need to mention the font size, and which is 24 pt. And for the H3, it's supposed to be 18 point, and the second point, it's supposed to be text decoration, which is supposed to be bold, not bold. It's supposed to be font, yeah, font weight. Okay, HT, and then we have to mention it as bold. Okay, it's not giving me as a help, but it is the way to mention it is. Okay, so these are our CSS code, and then let's remove the spaces and let's save it. After that, we corrected and completed the style sheet. Place your name, center number, and candidate number as a comment at the start of the style sheet. So they wanted to be mentioned as a comment at the beginning of the style sheet. To mention this, the comments usually added with the slash, star, another star, and front slash again. So in between you can add over here your name, candidate number, first center number, and then candidate number. Okay, in this way. And then the next question, which is save the style sheet, use the file name 193 followed by your candidate number, for example, in this way. Okay, so let's save it, save as. And let's make sure that it is in CSS. Actually, what we can do, can just say .css. Okay, great, it is saved. Even the error disappeared here. And let's go and make sure it is added over here, this one. So the next question, we're done with this. And then evidence 3, take a screenshot showing the content of your style sheet and place this evidence in your document, and make sure that the contents are easy to read and the file name is clearly visible. Okay, make sure that the file name is over here, so close this one and let's take a screen capture. Oh, sorry, let's make sure that we're putting the title over here at the very top. And let's go to the back again to the file, and let's paste it here. If you're feeling that it is a little bit small to read, then you can adjust the font over here with the enter. And we can take it in here in this way, so we can expand it. Okay, I need to show the title one. Okay, this is much better while it is printed, so we can read it easily. So let's go to the next question, number 18. Open the web page, that is name n19 webpage.htm in your web authoring package. Replace the text a candidate with your name and so on. Okay, so let's open this in Dreamweaver. First of all, let's check it. Okay, and let's open it in Dreamweaver. I believe I won't be needing this. I'm just going to keep this, save it, and okay, it says just to replace the candidate number with your real number. Okay, it's over here. Okay, great, we're done with this. Attach the style sheet, which is sstyle1.css, to this web page. The one we have been creating is this, and saved later in this. The one that we need to attach is this one. So to attach the file, always go and look for CSS Designer. In case you cannot find it, try to go and look over here in Windows and look for CSS Designer. And it's going to be maybe sometimes on your left side or right side tools. So in CSS Designer, you're going to find a source over here. In the source, click over the plus sign and attach the existing CSS style. Make sure that it is always as a link coming to you, and then click on browse and go and look at that SSD style 1 CSS file. Still on link, make sure it's not changing to import. and click over OK, and you will notice what happened here. The style changed, and you will find that the file successfully linked is by three ways. Actually, first, the style, the color and things, the colors, fonts and things changed. Secondly, by it is added the name over here. The third way, you will find that there is a link in the head, which is denoting to the name of the CSS file, added also over here. After that, attach it in attach style sheet that you created in step 17, which was this one that we saved it. That was step 17. And to your web page, so that it has a higher priority than the style sheet of the previous one. So again, with the same method, go to the CSS designer, or open it from the window, again to the plus sign, attach CSS style, browse, and the file that we recently created and saved it, attach it and click on OK. You will find both of them are added here, and you will find another thing that the color also here changed to yellow. And the third way that you will find there is a style sheet, another one is added over here also. But the point they're asking you here, that this file, the one that we're adding it right now, it's supposed to be having a higher priority than this CSS SSD style CSS file. Means whatever will be mentioned in that previous file supposed to be taken first, and whatever is mentioned in the second supposed to be as a second priority, but the first priority will go to the first CSS. It is just simply, we need just to take this line and put it above the first line. So in this way, our CSS file, this one that we created, whatever in it will be the first priority, and then the second priority will go to this file. So let's see over here, you will notice some of the things changed. It is not anymore yellow color or any color, it is depending on this file. Okay, save the web page, display the web page in your browser, and make sure that all pages can be seen, all the text can be easily read, and the address bar is visible. So let's first save it, and then let's go to the web page and let's refresh it, and we will see how it changed over here. Everything is visible clearly. And okay, let's get back again to the question. The evidence 4 says take a screenshot of the web page in your browser and place this in your evidence document. So that's supposed to be evidence number 4, but they're telling you make sure that the address bar is visible while you're taking this one, and the text can be easily read, all the text and all the page can be seen. There is only one way that we can do this, is by reducing the size, and so we have to zoom in a way that we can make it all possible too. Okay, let me make sure. 11. Okay, let me see if, nope, still not okay. Okay, the previous one was better, this one, and let's make it bigger again, and let's take the screenshot for this. Oops, no, I cannot take it like that, it has to be with the address bar, so I have to make it smaller. And okay, that's the size, it's too small. Okay, and then let's go and paste it in the evidence number 4. Let's make sure that if we print it out, it is possible to read. So that's 100%. Probably this is going to be really difficult to read. So, okay, what we have to do, we have to divide it into 2 portions. I think this can be enough as 2 portions. Nope. Okay, let's say this till drive is the first portion with the title, and the next portion will be, okay, from here, and so on. So let's take a screenshot right now. I think this is too big. I will Is there any way I can hide this? I'm not sure right now. I have to remove all those extensions. Okay, great. So the taskbar here, the bar is fully visible. That's the first part. Second part, after drive, from here we can take it again fully, even though better make it on all on one page. Okay, that's great. And then the next question or next evidence say display the HTML source in your editor. So take a copy. Okay, right now the question is take a copy of the HTML file. The previous one was take a screenshot. Okay. And here also take a screenshot, but here means copy paste HTML source and place it in your evidence document. That's evidence number 5. So let's go back to our Dreamweaver. They say the HTML code, so make sure you're not copying the CSS files. And that was evidence number 5, and paste it in 5. Okay, and then save and print your evidence document and make sure that your number, candidate number, and all informations are showing. So that was the last question to do. I hope you got all the questions and answers, and best of luck in your exam.